Have you ever had one of those brilliant app ideas, but then you hit a massive wall? You know the one. You don't know how to code. Well, what if I told you that wall is being completely torn down? Today, we're talking about a whole new way of building things called vibe coding, where you can create polished, money-making apps just by describing what you want. No, seriously, no code required. So let's just start with a number. $400,000. That's how much a simple rock identifying app made in a single month. Now, how did it do that? It found a passionate niche, hikers, geology fans, and gave them a super useful tool. And the crazy part? It wasn't built by a huge team with years of coding experience. It was built using the exact AI-powered approach we're going to break down. This isn't just some fun little experiment, folks. This is a real business.
Okay, so what exactly is vibe coding? Some people call it vibe designing. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Imagine you're sitting down with a world-class developer. You just talk. You explain your vision, the feel, the features, the whole vibe you're going for. And that developer, who happens to be an AI, just instantly writes all the code to make it real.
So here's how we're going to walk through this. We'll start by building out your AI developer toolkit. Then we'll see how a simple prompt becomes a real polished app. We'll cover how to turn that code into actual cash, and finally get it shipped to the App Store. Let's do this. First things first, you need the right tools. But I don't want you to think of this as just a list of software. No. Think of it like you're assembling your own personal AI development agency, a dream team of specialists ready to build whatever you want. So let's look at the main players on your new team. For that true all-in-one mobile-first experience, VibeCode is a beast. It does pretty much everything. Now, if you're someone who wants a bit more control, you want to own your code from day one, Roark is fantastic for that. And then there's Cursor. This is for when you really want to get in there and polish things. It's a professional code editor with AI baked right in, helping you perfect every little detail. But a great app is so much more than just code, right? Your AI toolkit needs a creative department, and you can have one. You can use tools like Krea to just generate incredible, unique icons and images on the fly. And then you can use something like 11 Labs to create custom sound effects, music, you name it. You're not just a coder anymore. You're basically a full-stack, one-person creative studio. So we have the tools, but what does this process actually feel like? Well, it's way less like traditional heads-down programming and a lot more like a creative, back-and-forth conversation with your AI co-pilot. And just listen to this prompt. This is what I mean by a conversation. You're not just saying, make a notes app. You're describing the whole aesthetic, the layout, the feeling. You're giving the AI the vibe, and the AI totally gets it. This one detailed paragraph is literally the blueprint for a whole custom app. And then the magic happens. The AI takes that long descriptive prompt and just translates it. It becomes a real functional app. It builds the user interface. It sets the buttons. It builds the whole initial structure. It's that incredible moment where your words become a tangible product that you can actually see and interact with. But, okay, let's be real for a second. It's not always perfect on the first shot. And this is so important to understand. You are going to see errors. Things will break. This is a totally normal, totally expected part of the process. So when you see this, don't panic, because the AI doesn't just write code, it also knows how to fix it. And the solution is honestly kind of beautiful in its simplicity. You literally just copy the error messages, paste them right back into the chat, and say, hey, I'm getting these errors, please fix them. You don't even have to understand what the errors mean. Your AI copilot does, and it'll just rewrite the code to solve the problem for you. Okay, so you've built your app, it works, it looks awesome. What now? Well, the next step is turning your creation into a real source of income. And there are really two main paths you can go down here. So on one hand, you have in-app subscriptions. This is a super powerful way to build recurring revenue, especially for apps that offer ongoing value like new content or features. But on the other hand, there's a totally different model, selling your code itself as a template on a platform like Gumroad. This is an amazing option because other developers, both experts and beginners, will happily pay for your work to save them time on their own projects. And don't ever underestimate what your code is worth. I mean, look at this. Even a simple UI template can sell for 30, 40, 50 bucks. A full starter kit with all the logic, that could easily go for over $150. A lot of creators are turning their half-finished side projects into their first real digital income this way.
Now, if you do decide to go the subscription route, it can seem super intimidating, but services like Revenue Cat have made it so much simpler. You set up your products, you install their SDK, which is basically just a little piece of code that connects your app to their system, and then you tell your app's UI when to show the paywall. It breaks a really complex process down into 4 pretty manageable steps. All right, you've built it, you've monetized it, and now for the final boss battle, actually getting your app through Apple's notoriously complicated submission process. This is where so many creators, even pro coders, get totally stuck. I mean, just look at this checklist. It's a beast. You have to configure app IDs, push notifications, widgets, privacy policies. The list just goes on and on. Every single one of these is a technical trap that has to be set up perfectly. And honestly, it can feel like you're trying to escape a maze. But, and you probably saw this coming, AI and automation are here to save the day again. There are now specialized services like Dispia that can handle this entire submission nightmare for you. You just connect your project, and the service automates all of those configurations, packaging your app perfectly for Apple's review. It turns what could be weeks of frustration into just a few clicks. So when you put this all together, building, monetizing, shipping, it's a massive shift. The barriers that have kept people from creating and selling software for decades are just crumbling away. It's opening the door for a whole new generation of creators. And this right here is maybe the most important takeaway of all. These AI tools are unbelievably powerful, but at the end of the day, they're still just tools. Like one creator said, success doesn't just come from the AI. It comes from having a clear, compelling idea. The technology can build the how, but you still have to provide the what and the why. Which really brings us to the final thought. For decades, building software was this exclusive club, reserved for a few people with very specialized skills. But that era is ending. So if the only thing standing between your idea and a real global product is just a conversation, what are you going to ask for? What will you build?